Hello guys, Vengeancer here, bringing you another video. Supposed to be Saturday, anything goes video, maybe even something different than Black Desert, but I didn't really feel like playing Amnesia. It probably would be fitting, considering that it is Friday the 13th tonight when I'm recording this the night before. We're going to do something a little different. You see, I'm on the Arsha server, and I got a few scrolls. We're going to go check out the, oh, there's a guy here and he wants to fight. I guarantee it. We're going to buzz away from him. If he wants to jump on me, fine. We'll fight him when we have to. But that's not a big deal. Now, I want to get down here and waste some of these scrolls. The reason I'm on Arsha is I figured that content might be a little more exciting if we run into some PvP, even though I really am not very good at it. Hopefully he didn't dump mobs on my horse. But, alright, we're going to drop one of these scrolls on. We're going to turn this on. We're also going to put that on. And sure, why not? Let's hit a bell. And energy guard, I don't care. Okay, let's just do some killing. If we run into this guy, maybe we can fight him, maybe we won't, I don't know. Don't know what happens till it happens. I don't PvP on this game very much. I kind of know what skills do knockdowns and kind of CC on this wizard, but I need a lot of practice. I've really spent most of my time life skilling and, you know, grinding levels here and there and doing some quests and stuff, so I haven't really spent a whole huge amount of time PvPing. I haven't done Red Battlefield or anything like that either, so. And I'm not going to try to level or do anything like that. I'm going to bust all those scrolls, but I am looking, I'm still on the lookout. I'm still hunting for a specter. It's energy, so I know they dropped here. Plus I had some quests to do here, and this is supposed to be pretty good. I'm going silver per hour. So it kind of defeats a few things all at once. I also don't know when they, I guess it was a couple of patches ago that they added in the little thing down there that tells which skill is being used. Which, I don't know, sometimes it annoys me, but most of the time it's like, okay, that skill's on cooldown, it's using it, that's fine. But I could have swore that I had that turned off. I haven't ventured very far back in here yet on Arsha. I don't know if there's anybody back here tonight or not. There's a couple things I figured I would grind I want to talk about. Ooh, Jonas fragments, that's good. I need those. I need like 150 of those. I kind of wanted to go over, I've been thinking a lot recently. Let's go this way. I've been thinking a lot recently just about my time in games in general. Okay, I guess we're using this skill. So I've been thinking a lot about MMOs, and I'm thinking about my channel and content, and just how I got into the MMOs in the first place. And I may have mentioned this some before, but when I was a kid growing up, we didn't have internet. I mean, I'm not ancient by any means, but you know, I'm early 30s, so I kind of internet became a thing as I was growing up. And I lived way outside of town in a small farm town, so we didn't really have access to high-speed internet anyway. We had dial-up out where I was, but it was pretty unreliable. So you know, we weren't playing anything like this, that's for sure. And so I didn't really get into MMOs or start playing them. I mean, the early days of MMOs, you know, there's World of Warcraft. I never played World of Warcraft. I got into MMOs when I started college, which was a few years after World of Warcraft came out. And the first game I ever played, and I went through a few looking for a good one, you know, but the first one I ever played, whew, that guy might come back and try to start something with us. He had a red name. New title. Maybe I'll change from Noble Savage to Devourer. I kind of like Devourer. I haven't found a title that really I like that much better than Noble Savage. Anyway, my first game that I played that was an MMO, you know, I grew up with consoles. You know, I had an NES, Super NES, GameCube. You know, it was mostly Nintendo until then. I remember when the first Xbox came out, and my brother and I, we had one of those. We had PlayStations later on, but not when they first came out. I remember after the fact we ended up getting a PS1 and a PS2. And then after the GameCube, I didn't buy into the whole, I didn't like Wii very much. And of course we had Game Boys, and when we were growing up, we played those all the time. But I think Game Boy Advances, but we didn't get onto the whole Nintendo, you know, Wii U wave. Wasn't into that at all. And it kind of fell out of consoles. But whenever I started college, I was like, why would I play console by myself when I can play MMOs and play with other people? Even if, you know, I didn't always want to play with other people, the option was still there. And there goes the game. Lovely crash. I think it's a Windows update, so bear with me while I start this back up. Annoying. Annoying, annoying, annoying. Alright. There should be a picture back momentarily. That's so frustrating. It's gonna run a good 30 seconds to a minute, probably 3 minutes. Anyway, as I got into college, I just had to bear with the picture here. It should be loading. When I started playing an MMORPG called Last Chaos. It was a Korean grinder, and when it first came out, it was a pretty decent MMORPG, but it quickly went downhill because it was ran by Area Games, and Area Games are the biggest money-hungry publishers I've ever seen, aside from Perfect World Entertainment. Yeah, I don't care. Aside from Perfect World Entertainment, Area Games was some of the worst for their monetization. I mean, they were pay to win all the way. But that doesn't, I mean, I didn't buy into the whole pay to win thing. I've always had the rule, you know, if I'm going to play a game for a few years, I'll spend a few $100s, but that's it. You know, I'm not gonna cash out pay to win. All right, so we gotta wait just a second for everything to catch up because my connection is a little slow right now. There we go. All right, back, and hopefully we don't crash again. PC was doing Windows updates a little bit ago and managed to download them across my connection. So, hey, look, a bluish sulfur. Are you still on? Yes, you are. Alright. But, you know, not buying into the whole pay-to-win thing. The game was still fun, but it was supposed to be a theme park where it kind of held your hand, you know, and you had one linear direction to go. It wasn't a sandbox like Black Desert was. Stop it, go. Dogs are over there play fighting. I think they're restless. They've been inside most of the day. It's been pretty hot here. But it's not a sandbox, or it wasn't a sandbox, if the game is even still around. The devs may have taken it back over. It's been a long time since I've played it, but what ended up happening was it was just a grinder. I mean, I may be disconnected again. It's not. No, just that one. The questing in the game was lackluster. I mean, if you followed the quest, you could get to like level 30, 40, you know? But in a game where, when it first came out, that's great. You know, the level cap was like 60, and then they bumped it up to like 80 something, and then they bumped it on up to 90, and then 100, and then 120, and then 140, and I think 165, and then eventually maybe 180. I don't know. I lost track after that. But that being said, I never really got past 117. You know, it was one of those games where if you didn't pay money, you didn't level. You had to kill literally millions of monsters to gain a level. Let's kill those. But there weren't, I'm trying to remember, there weren't jobs. I mean, there were, but it wasn't like they were important. You could craft stuff, but it was irrelevant because all your gear dropped from monsters. You'd go grind like this, like I am now, and get drops from certain monsters in places. And I remember when they changed all the gear, and it was basically a tier ladder. I mean, every 4 levels you had a new weapon, which, you know, they overlapped. If you had a high upgraded weapon, you could skip several tiers. But the RNG system sucked really bad. I mean, it was worse than Black Desert's. Your weapon broke if it failed, and if you didn't buy the cash shop items to keep it from breaking, and even if you did buy those, sometimes it would downgrade. So you had several options. It would either succeed, it would fail and downgrade, or it would fail and break, and most of the time it just broke. So you were literally farming tons and tons of upgrade stones, and then also farming tons and tons of weapons, and just cycling them as they broke until you got it to max upgrade. It was terrible. But the game overall, I had a lot of fun, and I remember the reason I even bring this up to begin with, and I'll talk about a couple of more games that I played before I got to where I am now in Black Desert. When I first started Last Chaos, and my whole point here is I'm talking about nostalgia and how I've really been feeling nostalgic this week mainly. And it's been causing me some issues playing Black Desert, but it also helps. But the reason I bring up the old games is because when I first started playing that, I remember, and I had several people that played with me, and they were like, come on, let's go level. Well, it was a game where, yeah, you could go grind and level up until, you know, whatever level. Like I said, I think it was like 60 something when we first started. That monster knocked me down. But we were never high, you know. Like, I remember when we were grinding, we were in like the mid-10s. We hadn't even reached level 20 yet. PvP started at 16, so you were just thrown into a... It was a mess. You learned faster, you just died all the damn time. But I remember one specific time, and this was after I got a little bit higher, and it was like, it wasn't one continuous world, it was kind of a fake continuous world. So you would have the main world that you loaded into, and it was like a map, and it was all one map, and then you would go to a new zone, but you talk to a teleporter. Alright, where's the head? You would talk to a teleporter, and it would port you to another zone. Let's just use this. Hey, bonus strike and sharp thing and a golden backpack. Cool. But it would port you to another map, which would be, you know, all one map. And some of these maps had dungeons in them, which you would then talk to a teleporter and port in. So it was kind of a faux continuous map. You know, you would load it into different zones. So I think the servers handled that better. Of course, you get error reports all the damn time. Had memory leaks. You know, it was badly coded, but we played what we had at the time. But I remember after getting up to like, I want to say in the 20s, maybe around level 28. And I just sat, and the way this game worked was it worked kind of similar to Black Desert, how the monster name colors are. If they were higher level than you, they would be red. Same level, within like 1 or 2 levels, the names would be white, and then a couple levels below you would be green, and then, you know, blue. And once they were down to blue, you wouldn't really get anything from them. Well, the idea back then was you wanted to fight monsters that were green named because they gave you hardly any experience, and you would still get decent amounts of skill experience. Now, you had 2 different experiences. You had your combat experience and you had skill experience, kind of similar to Black Desert. However, the skill experience was worked such that you needed 10,000 skill experience points to get 1 skill point. And each monster, even when you were running pots and crap, usually gave you, at least at that point, before they reworked some stuff, like 1,000 skill points. So you're killing, or even less. Like if you weren't running pots, you were getting like 100. So you were killing literally thousands of monsters for 1 skill point, and which doesn't sound too bad. But whenever every single skill takes like hundreds of skill points or thousands of skill points, it's a terrible Korean grinder. But I remember being stubborn, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit in this area, and I'm just going to kill these monsters until I get enough skill points to just max out all the skills that I can get now, and then I'll get a few extra, and then worry about the rest later. So I was just sitting there grinding. And maybe that's why I don't like to grind now, I just got burnt out. But I was just nostalgically thinking about how my mentality has changed in games. Like that would used to be content in games. You just sit and grind. Now it's like, if it isn't some fancy dynamic content, nobody wants to play it anymore. And then they talk about how the game is dead. So, you know, I played that for a while, a few years. Probably like 2.5 years, I want to say. It's hard to remember. It seems a lot longer because I played it on and off. Then I got turned on to Perfect World. That was a big mistake. That game was pretty well just as bad. I didn't get very far in that game because I just didn't spend any money on any significant amount of money, you know. But I kind of gloss over that time period because while I had fun in there, I really didn't get much accomplished in that game. It was just, I don't know. I want to say it was a waste of time, but it did lead me to making friends, and then they pushed me onto, which I don't speak to them really anymore. We kind of just grown apart, but they turned me onto Perfect World's other game called Forsaken World. Now, Forsaken World, it was basically a WoW clone, and I played an Ice Mage, and I will still say it was my favorite game by far to this day. I quit because I got into a fight with a bunch of people on there, and it was just dramatic. I didn't want to deal with it, so I just left the game. And then they changed hands, and it went downhill from there. And it was very pay to win. You know, you get to a point where you're either putting in thousands of hours to make minimal progress, or you're just paying thousands of dollars to make the same amount of progress in a few minutes. But somewhere along there is when my mentality changed about grinding, I think, because Forsaken World was set up differently. It really was a WoW clone. You didn't have the traditional money systems. You know, it wasn't like one currency for everything. It basically was set up differently to combat gold sellers, which it worked, because you had gold that you would trade through like the marketplace and stuff, but all the quests would reward you with what was called soul coins. It was basically used for getting your skills and all in-game functions like buying potions from the marts and NPCs, that kind of stuff. Anything to do with NPCs or buying skills was soul coins, and then trading between players and a couple of other game systems like mastery upgrades and stuff like that was actual gold. And the only way you could earn actual gold was there was an event once a week that you could get some, or you had to do the Midas Touch quest, which required a cash shop item, which you could buy from other players. You know, so it was a little bit differently set up. So you had a couple different gold systems there. Now, killing all the monsters and everything like that rewarded soul coins. So their gold farmers were pretty much non-existent because there wasn't any major way for them to farm without spending real money. Plus, later on, bots didn't really matter because they added a bot system, which basically you could set all of your skills in. It was an auto bot, so you could go to the training grounds and auto kill stuff, and your character would sit up and just do a skill rotation when it detected like a monster nearby or whatever. And that's how you farmed like mastery points. You needed a lot of those. I say mastery points, I don't really mean mastery. I forget the name of it. It was like, it was something different. It was like soul something. I don't remember, because there were so many different systems in that game. It was similar to Black Desert, but that's when it took a turn for me. Grinding meant something different. You know, I would do quests, I would do the dailies, and then if I wanted to try and make progress on my character, I would run dungeons, which they were actual instance dungeons, where you go in and you do the mission for the dungeon, and at the end it would, you know, reset or whatever. And some of those were you could only do so many a day or so many a week, but other ones, you know, you could just run and run as much as you want. So that became my grinding. I would literally just go and grind dungeons and run, and it still had the Holy Trinity. So I had a pocket priest, which is one of the ones I got into a fight with and why I left. But being a damage dealer, you know, I wasn't a tank and I wasn't a healer, so I wasn't very useful for groups unless I had, you know, people needed damage dealers. Plus, I wasn't even on a high end of damage dealer. I was basically a CC mage for PvP, which, being I wasn't high geared. I was probably low to medium geared, closer to medium. and I played on Yerda. I think there's a couple people that watched my videos that used to play for Signal World. That might be why they suck, because I talked about it before, but they may have even known my character if they played on the Yerda server. But I'm not going to say my character name. Just for anonymity purposes. If they guess it, I'll tell them if they're right, but I'm not going to announce it. There were very few well-known ice mages on the Yerda server, so if they actually played on there, then I'm sure they know who I was. If they played in that time period when I played, around 2012, probably 10 years ago. However, the grinding was very different, you know, and the game got to where I was leaving it up 24/7. It wasn't 24/7 like Black Desert, because it was designed differently, but I would grind the dungeons and make progress on my character, work on, and it had some life skills in there too. I forget what they were called, jobs or professions or something, you know, that's usually what they're called, but they weren't massively important. They were gated kind of like Black Desert is. With energy, they were gated with energy and vigor. But I spent time hunting world bosses, and then whenever I got to where I got hooked on the arena, spent a lot of time doing arena 3v3s. But when I wasn't, I would just get to where I would leave my character botting in the training grounds, because it would get me some XP, not much, but it would get me quite a bit of the other XP that you needed for like all of your runes and stuff, your rune trees. So that's what grinding became to me. You know, I would either do that or AFK fish on there. So I had a couple of the AFK things I would do, and it turned into me mostly doing that. Like, even if I was at the computer, I would just do that and do something else. I got tired of running dungeons. I got tired of sitting there grinding for hours on end. You know, and so my whole definition had changed, and I liked it better. And I wish Black Desert was set up that way, where you're literally making progress and getting gear and items from dungeons. I really do. Maybe not so much instance dungeons, but maybe how Last Chaos did it, where it had one persistent dungeon in the map. So which, I mean, I guess that's the same as what I'm doing right now. I'm in the sulfur mines, grinding. And if anybody else comes here, they'll see me here and we'll either fight or, you know, leave each other alone or whatever. But that's how Last Chaos was. That's where you got your items at. You would go and, granted, you'd talk to a teleporter to load into the dungeon, you know, like a doorway, like a gatekeeper or whatever, but it wasn't like your own private instance of the dungeon. If you were on that channel and you loaded in there, and anybody else came in there, you guys were in the same dungeon, you know, and that was pretty much fighting over spots. So I guess it is the same, but it would be nice to have some kind of instance dungeon here and there in Black Desert. And I know they've tried to do group content like that with like the Ataraxian stuff, and I haven't really tried it much because I don't really have a lot of friends on Black Desert to do things with. I haven't really put much into the social aspect of it, because this game, I think, was designed too heavily on the solo experience to combat the gold farmers. You know, just not being able to trade items really put me off even playing with other people. So I log on and I go grind by myself or do my AFK stuff, and then ignore pretty much everybody. And, you know, I'm on Arsha, there's nobody in. They're in group chat, but there's nobody in server chat. Nobody's saying anything. So it's just kind of weird. But I think what really put me off is whenever I first started playing this, and I wanted to like, I was like, okay, we'll make progress, and you know, my fiance got me to playing it, and then I realized I can't trade anything. You can't help me start out the game, even though you've been playing for a year, because we can't trade. What are you gonna do? Give me some like beer for my workers, and then it's then bound, and I can't even sell it if I need immediate quicksilver. Back then, beer sold pretty easily for quite a bit, but it's just, I don't know. The lack of player-to-player trading in this game had really killed that multiplayer aspect. I understand why they did it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. And same with why they didn't do dungeons and stuff. I mean, I get it. They wanted it to be one fluid world. But you have history that is basically the same thing as an instance dungeon. I mean, although you're not getting your own instance of it, you're loading into a different map. And that's how it works. Just something I thought about. I don't know, it's just weird to me. But after Forsaken World, I was like, I think I'm done with MMORPGs for a little bit. And then I got heavy into League of Legends, which I can't even play anymore because of the having to use a cell phone for the connection. I think the latency would be too high, so I haven't even played it in months. And then I ended up meeting my fiance, so things kind of changed then. And like I said, after a while she got me into Black Desert, and then left me there. She doesn't really play anymore, but she still likes the game. But her review on it was, it's hard for me to play and get anything else done because it feels like a second job or like too much of a job to me. Which, I mean, I understand that. You can kind of get overwhelmed and absorbed, especially since when we first started playing, there wasn't near the amount of systems in it as there are now. I think they've added so much since then, and if you take any bit of a break, you kind of get overwhelmed. But I make content for it, so I will continue playing, and I'm an RPG guy at heart, even if I'm playing like a console game or a solo game by myself somewhere. Mostly RPGs is what I'm playing. You know, I'm not huge on the shooter thing. I mean, I've done the Call of Duty thing, and I've done action combat things. You know, and I like platformers too. And then every once in a while, platformers are good, but RPGs are my thing. So I will continue playing it because it is what I like. But after, when I got into League of Legends, you know, and I mean, of course it's a MOBA, you know, it's completely different. The thing that appealed to me on League of Legends was the different item sets. So you can play the same character over and over and over, but you can play them a ton of different ways because you can build different items. And there may be a meta, you know, and all item sets might not work the best, but it doesn't mean you can't play them, you know. You can do all kinds of things in there. And I started playing, you know, back in probably end of 2013. So fairly early on, and that's whenever they had the runes were all separate and you could make tons of different rune builds and stuff. They weren't just select one from each category. You actually had to select each individual runes and put them on there. But that got me back into like the grinding, you know, like. So I went from playing mostly AFK all the time. Going the wrong way. I went from playing mostly AFK all the time in Forsaken World unless I was like PvP and doing battlegrounds and stuff, back into actually grinding in League. You know, like to rank up, you know, you got a level. I mean, most people have at least played League of Legends at least once, so they kind of know how the system works. But you got to level up so much before you can get ranked. And once I get ranked, I always played ranked. It didn't matter if I won or lost, or having a good day or bad day, first game or not. It was ranked or nothing. I never played normals. Didn't see the point in playing normals. But the grind is huge on there. You're constantly grinding to rank up. Rank up, rank up, rank up all the time. So you're back actively grinding. You can't just AFK grind your way to victory. I mean, I guess you could if your teammates carry you enough, but you're gonna get banned if you do that. And now I am back into RPG again with Black Desert, and my mentality has shifted again. I don't mind grinding. It's not my favorite thing to do, mostly because the grinding games that I had grinded in before were point and click. With Last Chaos, you click on the enemy and it highlights them, and then you just sit and do your skills. It wasn't action at all. You know, it was an early adopted thing. So, you know, tab target was that's what there was for combat. I don't mind tab target. I kind of prefer it because of the whole my poor carpal tunnel wrist. It makes it a little easier. I tried Guild Wars 2 as well. I hate Guild Wars 2 combat. It is awful. That's why I always think I want to get back into Guild Wars 2. The game concept looks cool and the story really interests me. The game world, I really wanted to finish that game and play through. I bought both expansions. Still haven't played either one of them. I did level to 80 and I started getting through the first part of the living world before I got to the first expansion, and I just can't do it. The combat just always frustrates the hell out of me. You just feel like a snail with those old time ball and chain that they put on the prisoners, you know, back in like 40s or whatever, the 1918, the old ball and chain, the old 1800 way of putting them on the chain gang. I feel like when I'm playing Guild Wars 2 that my character has one of those attached to each foot, as well as weighing 4,000 pounds, because he just, and I play a mage or whatever they're called, elementalist, I think, in that, or should he put his weapon on, in that game as well. And so eventually I became a weaver, so I would use a sword and, you know, whatever else it was that he was using, I forget. So he had a little bit more movement, but the skills have to be up close. It just felt really bad and clunky, and it made my hands hurt even more than if I just sit here and grind on Black Desert. So it's just, I just lose interest real quick. Not to mention the gold grinding in that game was atrocious. Couldn't grind gold to save your life. I mean, maybe people that were further into the game or better geared or whatever, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't play it enough to know either way, but I lost interest very quickly. But my grinding mentality has definitely changed, you know, and going down trying to quit saying, you know, I'm annoying myself. But going down the nostalgia road is dangerous, because then you find yourself re-downloading old games. Thankfully, in my case, I can't right now. Even if I do get the urge to play them, or even try them out just to see they've changed or how bad they've gotten since I quit. But it's very dangerous. You can waste a lot of time and end up remembering why you quit the first time after 6 months. Which is kind of what happened to me after I quit single war the first time. Then I played on a private server for a while, and it was all the same problems, you know. I'm sure everybody has had. Uh-oh, there's PvP. Can't even get up. How far away are we? I wasn't gonna use a. Where are we at? Oh hell. Let's see if we can get back over there. I saw him coming, and right when he hit me, I got knocked down and got stun locked. I couldn't even get up. So that's a thing. And I noticed that happening. I don't know if there's a way around that, or if that's just how PvP works in this game. It's like whoever hits first. But it's a little frustrating. But I also can't be too frustrated because I don't have enough PvP experience to know if there's anything different. Like I don't know. I'm not sure if that's just how PvP works, like whoever one-shots who first, or one combos, or if there's a way to counter that. Can I get, like, I know there's, where's it at? It's not there. Here. I know there's resistances for like stun to stiffness. It's like 55% is what my character has. Is there a way to make that better or worse, or I just don't know. I don't have the PvP knowledge. I haven't done it enough. I probably should, since I was running the scroll, I probably should have just. I don't care about fighting him. He didn't hurt me. No, won't be there. This way. If he wants to fight me, I guess he can jump on me and I'll try to retaliate, but I don't want to pick a fight with him. That's that guy that ran up whenever we first got here. So I think I went this way. He ran over me. I'm lost. I don't know why. He didn't mean to. I got myself lost. I didn't know where I was at. But see, that guy didn't even mean to, and he just one-shot my character. And I have 300 something DP, so I'm assuming that's just how PvP is. And I got hit by that guy's skill. I didn't mean to. I just want to go. Anyway, I'm going back this way. I know where I'm going now, though. Let's see, we're going back this way. this way. Anybody sees him, go give him a thank you. I haven't been to the mines enough to know where the hell I'm going. Yep, back this way. There. Yeah, I took a wrong turn. No signal. Up the hill, I need to go that way. Let's go see if we can kill this guy. Probably not, but we'll try. This is what I get for playing BDO for 3 years or whatever it was, and well, it's been closer to 5. Yeah, see, he stun locked me immediately. I don't know why I would lose XP anyway. Let's see. I got a ton of these. Sure. That guy's over there, but we're gonna port over here so that I can actually look. Oh, this guy's gonna take my full rotation. Yeah, that guy's geared way past me. That's hilarious. Oh, but this is what I get. I played so long and I haven't PvP'd much. So it's like, gotta learn sometime. There's gonna be a few falls before you can get back up. Let's go there. I think I'm probably done. It's been about an hour. I wasn't really watching. The time. But I'll reply to this guy and tell him I appreciate it. But I don't think we got the specters. I just want to turn these quests in, and I was just working on those anyway. Let's see, there was a couple of more, I think, that I gotta kill these off of me. Otherwise they're gonna cancel my thing. Yeah, that one's in progress. Now where is that? This. Oh, I need to kill a few more of those. I'm about 22 short. Now the problem is that they are few and far between, and I really don't think I'm gonna be able to do this quest with this guy killing me down here. I'm probably gonna have to swap to another server because I don't think I can take that guy down. I hit him with like 2 or 3 skills, and he didn't get knocked down, so I just didn't have enough accuracy to hit him. Maybe he's full EVA build, or I ended up like he used like a super armor or something to block it and let him not get knocked down. But he didn't even take any damage, so I want to say that I probably just missed him altogether. But I tried. Here he is again. And he got me. I got him knocked down, but it just did not do enough damage, so I'm thinking that he out-gears me by quite a bit. But I had to give it one more try. So I'll end it off here. I'm going to go upload this so that it shows up in the video list tomorrow. It's probably going to take it a couple hours to upload since it's so long, but I wanted to do a little bit different content and see how that goes. If you enjoyed my stories or the content, whatever, we grinded for a little bit. Wanted to see if I could get a specters. I did not. However, I got one of these things. I don't know what that's good for. And I got almost 5,000 trash loot, so that's not too bad, just for piddling around. But leave me a like and a comment if you got any suggestions. There's my gear score. 270 AP, 313 TP. I'm not really sure how that compares to... I know I don't have great crystals either. They're kind of crappy. I'm not sure how that compares to that guy, but we definitely got smashed. Well, it's a learning experience, so we'll move on from there, and I will do some more PvP stuff and hopefully grinding on Arsha in the future, and maybe I'll get better. I need to go read some skill descriptions and gotta figure out what I did wrong, so I'll do that. Hit sub. There's more videos coming all the time, so with that, and thanks for watching, and as always, until next time.